From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may know all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. Ayum Hunaku Eva Maya E Ma Ho. All hail the harmony of mind and nature.
And so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that beautiful prayer that has become part of my life. I love the part especially to end all war. So that's what we're talking about today. We're ending all wars, especially the war within. And I'm just so grateful that I have been given all this knowledge to share with you over the last 35 years or more. I have been just consuming knowledge about the universe. Ayum Hunabku Evamaya Imaho. That prayer is all about our creator. The universe is God, source, spirit, Yahuwah. That prayer brings us in to the reality of nature and who we are and what our assignment is. So what is are you fulfilling your assignment today? Are you working your assignment every day? That's the key. Your sole purpose is to do what you've been assigned from a heavenly place to do, from a divine place to do. It has been so entertaining to watch the outflow of this Artemis moon ride. People are coming out of the woodworks to tell us that's fake. I had the best laugh last night. As many of you know, I go on YouTube at night to refresh my knowledge. And I came across a video that was about 30 minutes long. This brother played probably 30 videos of people saying that's fake. In fact, if you didn't know, there's a movie called The Chronicle. I think it's called The Chronicle. And then there's another movie where they actually show it's about a fake moon landing. It's about a Hollywood production of a moon landing that was fake. This is a movie that was out called The Chronicles, I think. You got to watch that. And guess what? The name of the ship was in this movie, Artemis. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, as a side note, I'm having so much fun watching people show what the truth is. And so that's what we're here to do. We're here to give you the truth, because big pharma is again, it seems to go parallel with the wars in the Middle East. Big pharma does a new war campaign, and this time it's on cancer patients. So we got to get to the truth. I'm going to give you what I think you should know about this big pharma campaign that's going on. Because how many of us know of someone who has cancer now or who had cancer in past? And many of us will be diagnosed with cancer in the future if we're not listening to this show. Because I'm all about preventing that disease. I've had enough people in my life who suffered from it. And so part of my mission is to show you how not to suffer. But let me just welcome the village. I have new music for my village welcoming show. So listen, watch up for a few seconds. We got to end the other one. Let me end that other one and bring you into my video with music. Okay, here we go. And Imak was my guest a couple of times in the past few years, but more recently he's been my guest this year. Beautiful, beautiful brother with some amazing creative energy. And I'm just grateful he gave me a new song after all these years of playing that other song. And then I got an email all of a sudden saying I'm infringing on copyright after I've been playing this song for, I don't know, 5 years. Go ahead, go out of here. I am non-stoppable in creating and taking advantages of opportunities when so-called problems show up. Get out of here. Thank you, Imak, and check him out. He's on YouTube, and I think he has a Facebook page, EMAKH. A beautiful, beautiful brother creating music that we need, not this negative hip-hop music. Not that I don't like hip-hop sometimes. Kanye West made some beautiful music after his mother passed that I listened to. But most of hip-hop, the old stuff, too many curse words. We are raising the vibration here. And that's why we do joint rolling. We want to, and I say we because it's going to take a collective effort to stop the war, or end all wars, especially in here. So thank you if you're here this morning. I know you could be doing other things on this Friday morning. April 17. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 3. We're rotating on the number 4 today. 4, 17, 26. So 4 to me is all about creative work. So what's number 4 mean for you? We're working in a visual, a cycle of rotating and moving this morning. While that music was playing, I was doing my hip roll, which keeps this chakra energy moving. So let's see, we got someone joining us today. 9643. I love that thought. I love this music. Oh, thank you, sister. That's 963B4U. She's putting out some, my sister, Dr. D, is putting out some beautiful YouTube shows lately. So check her out, 96B4U. And when you can put your other YouTube channel on here so we can share that as well. But intro music by Imak. I'm so happy. And let's see. We want to do a disclaimer this morning. I am not an MD, but they call me Dr. V because I've been teaching about this temple for a long time. And I love, love, love learning about and teaching about this amazing vessel that our soul dwells in. The Creator gave us the most powerful instrument to dwell on the journey on this earth. You talk about cars, fancy cars and vehicles. This body is the bomb of vehicles. And I love studying about it, learning about it, and teaching about it. So I hope today that you will be enlightened and enhanced as this show is not intended to replace any advice you may be receiving from your doctor. If you have an acute or chronic health condition you can't resolve, please see your trusted health professional. Now, we want to get busy with our joint rolling because if you don't take care of this body, it won't take care of you. But if you give attention to this body, like fly first, love yourself, it will do wonders for you. It'll do what you need it to do, basically. And if you missed my Wednesday show, go back and review the rhythmic breath work that we all can do to enhance, to heal, and to strengthen this temple. I'm learning so much about different types of breath work. I've been a yogi for some time, but lately I've been introduced to different people who are teaching new ways to breathe. How about that? New ways to breathe. If you didn't know how to breathe before, you're going to learn new ways to breathe. And the bottom line is this process of inhaling and exhaling. In French, it's called inspire, expire. I learned that when I went on vacation in the Virgin, I know it was some island my husband and I went to, and they had a little mobile home with yoga class in, and I took, and it was all in French. So she was inspire, expire the whole time. So I learned 2 new words that day. But this process of inspire, expire is all about worshiping in the temple. If you are a Bible student, I was a Bible student for many, many years, from birth on to about 50. And then I said, I've got it. The Bible is in here, in my language, in my interpretation. That Bible, what I need, what you need from me is in here. And anyone can challenge me on scripture of the Bible, and you're going to get the absolute truth from me from what's in here. So all that to say, when you're inspire, expire, you're worshiping, you're in worship. That's why we don't really need these buildings called churches. We don't really need them, but if you do, that's okay. Go ahead and participate and get what you need out of it. If it brings you peace, if it brings you healing, do what you have to do. But from my experience, this inspire, expire is all about worship. And there are different ways to worship. As you know, if you've been in the church at all, you know that you go to the Pentecostal, the Catholic, the Hebrew Israelite. There are so many different ways to worship. Some of them is very quiet and pensive and all that. Others are loud and shouting and falling on the floor, being slain in the spirit. Yay. And then others are beautiful music. So I have really been attracted to most churches that had the beautiful music, the songs, the musicians. That was been that in the last time, my real heavy church going days, music, music, music. So, but in this minute that we have here for joint rolling, I'm not going to play the music because here's a comment from Science 63 Brief. She said, I love Wednesday's show. It helped so much. It helped intensively my fire breathing again. Thanks. Wow, thank you for that feedback. It's always good to know. As she said, it helped her intensify or intensively her fire breathing. So whatever you do, just worship in here. This is the way to do it in 2026. I encourage all of you to enhance and improve the worship in here. Whether you're breathing from your mouth and getting that fire of Kundalini and that fire of the spirit up your spine, into your pineal gland, into your pituitary gland, blowing it out, that practice. I really do encourage you to find the right music to do your breath work, because the rhythm that I showed on Wednesday, I had this beautiful video of the heart torus. Woo! I played that again the other day just to be inspired by it and have the visual that when I close my eyes, this is what's going on in my aura around me when I'm worshiping, when I'm doing my thing. Inside of us is a magnificent symphony and magnificent sacred geometry going on in there. So if you missed a Wednesday show, go back and watch that and take in the lessons from the breath work and create your own breath work, whether it's through the mouth, whatever work. Try the mouth breathing because it has a different vibration. It works in the on the spine differently, it works on the heart differently, and then when you visualize that energy going to your head, it works in your command center. And that's what we really need to talk about today, your command center, and why there's a war on cancer patients today. Because the command center, for most people who are out of balance in their body with little tumors that show up, that's out of balance, and the command center just goes crazy, fear, anxiety. Oh my goodness. The thoughts when a person is diagnosed with cancer are mostly fear, anxiety, and worry. So I hope today, after today, I hope that you will come out of the fear, anxiety, and worry. In fact, that's our intention today, is to bring you out of any fear, worry, or anxiety about this disease they have labeled cancer. And I've had an amazing journey with it. I wrote a book about it to help you come out of the fear, the worry, and the anxiety, especially even if you don't have that label on you. I'm sure you're going to meet people or talk to people who do. And I want you to use this information that I give you today to help them heal their bodies and come out of it into peace. So let us do what I believe is one of the best exercises, movements to help bring balance back into this temple when you're out of balance. Out of balance, you feel tired, you feel weak, you feel pain, you feel anxiety. That's an out of balance situation, because the homeostasis, they call it, the perfect balance, is a symphony of beautiful music with no pain, no inflammation. So we want you to get back in balance with this simple, meditative, Tai Chi like, Qigong like movement this morning of what we have called joint rolling. So, and it starts first of all with a deep breath in your nose or mouth, whatever feels comfortable. I like to start this inhale with nose breathing and use the mouth breathing when you need intense work in this tempo. The mouth breathing can be a lot more effective to get deep in there and build, as Dr. D said, to bring that fire out of you and create an emotion that will bring homeostasis. So let us take a deep breath together. Feel the oxygen and exhale either through your nose. Deep breath in, deep breath in, deep breath in. Together in unity, we can get rid of all wars. But this problem we have, the challenge we have now, is all this division, everything that comes up lately. Oh, let's go take even the Artemis space ride has brought division. I love it, because people are coming up with the truth about it, and you're going to either go to the truth side or stay in deception. So breathe in truth, and breathe out. And let's just start with the neck area, rotating and bringing some vibration energy to your throat chakra. Breathing in and out. Throat chakra strengthening. Your joint rolling is designed to strengthen your circulation system, your immune system, and let's reverse that. Your lymphatic system is getting worked on in here, and muscles are being strengthened. You know how you work out with these arms and you build muscle? Well, it's the same Same energy, same force working when you're rotating your head and stretching all these muscles and improving your chakra, your throat chakra, the circles in your throat. Then we go to the shoulders. We're also activating portals. There are portals in every joint of your body. You, if you don't take my word for anything, do your homework. Please do your homework. But I did my homework and I'm sharing it with you. So there are portals in every joint in your body. That's why the joint rolling is significant for you if you make it a practice. Let's go forward because the body was constructed with a blueprint of the cosmos. This is a mini universe in here. So, whenever the creator's energy put together this body, there's a blueprint. It didn't just go willy nilly, let's throw some arm, heart in there, let's throw this in. No, no, no. There is a divine plan in all of this. Let's just roll around slow, like Tai Chi movement to build muscle. You're building muscles when you're rolling these joints and activating your circulation. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. And often Tai Chi doesn't have music. Let's reverse that. When I went to China a few years ago with my husband, we were walking back to the hotel and we came upon this park where there were probably about 20 or 30 Oriental Chinese people in the park doing this beautiful, like rhythmic motion, no music playing. They were all in unison, just moving. These were elderly people because the kids were probably at work. It was like 9 in the morning, and this was our last day in Beijing. Roll, roll, roll those arms. And I just stopped and stared. I was like, whoa, this is beautiful. It was like a symphony playing with their bodies. They were all in synchronicity. They were moving together. And I have gotten into the habit of going outside every morning and I hold my arms like this in front of the sun for 3 minutes. I started, now I'm up to 4 minutes. I can hold, I'm going to go up to 5 minutes. And what does that do? It's going to strengthen these muscles because when you practice a still movement like this for a long time, you're going to strengthen those muscles. So let's just roll, let's just get on our back together if you can and do our ankle portal and our wrist, which is all about chakra movement. This is strengthening the chakras, the circulation and the muscles, and connecting to a portal in the universal cosmic order of things. Breathe in. Don't forget to breathe. Keep this and take your time. We are not in a rush this morning. At least I'm not. And I hope you're not in a rush. And just move slowly, giving strength to the body. And then when you're ready, move the lower legs to get the knee energy going. The chakras in the knee area, which is connected to your root chakra, reverse that. And I hope that every morning, before you even get out of bed, when you open your eyes, take that deep breath in the morning and start rolling. Start rolling these joints, stretching them out, and just touching the body. And of course, we want to get this hip action going because if you're doing this every day, this area of your body is going to be stronger. You are not going to be needing hip surgeries or any intervention in this reproductive area chakra, root chakra, sacral chakra, because the blood is flowing. And if you're doing it with love, let's reverse that. If you're doing it with love, the love energy is the most powerful energy in the universe. So whatever we do, we should always be doing it in love. And you want to do this. Why? Especially if you're a senior. Don't want to be thrown in a nursing home. Oh my goodness. I got some horror story. Let's roll over to the other side slowly or good well as you can. And let's get the other side strengthened. I have some horror nursing home stories for you. And in fact, my friend Mama D, not Mama D, Mama AZ is in a nursing home, and she has told some horror stories, but she's adjusting well. I'm so proud of her because she knows that she was planted in that nursing home. Let's reverse that nursing home to grow. Yes. Wherever you go, planted in by the Most High Creator, Source, Spirit, you're meant to grow. Now, if you plant it in a soil that you don't like and you just complain, your growth will be stunted. You're going to get sick. And that's when cancer shows up. Because if you have a chronic complaint or situation that you don't grow in, then tumors will grow. So if you are unable to roll, remember, the solution is to bend and straighten, bend and straighten, bend and flex. If you can't do this action yet, you want to move to, but when you can, just do this action in the bed. Lift your leg in the morning like this, up and down, and breathe. Just the breath is the most important part about this action because the breath is the generator for all your organs to come alive and to renew and heal. Healing comes with the breath. And that's what we missed a lot of. Let's roll over and sit up. We've missed a lot of in this journey how the breath heals. And most people aren't breathing, deeply. So let's rub our hands together and finish this off so we can get busy learning about today's topic. It's so important. And let's put these hands on the back of our neck and squeeze to get that vagus nerve stimulated. Inhale, squeeze, release. Inhale, squeeze, let go. And let's just give our body a good tap. This is a great spot to relieve pain right here. Slap, slap, slap. Touch, touch. When you have pain, one of the easiest things to do is just start slapping it gently, of course. And move the blockage. Move that whatever is causing the inflammation, that sometimes it just needs to be touched and tapped. And especially around the breast, make sure you're leaving or putting in the energy to unclog anything that nature, your attitude and your nurturing energy has been blocked for some reason, the death of a friend or whatever gets blocked in here. So tap, 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 especially around your navel, your microbiome, your other brain. Some people call this the main brain. These two connect though. There's a gut-brain connection. If this isn't working, this is out of order too. And then give your kidneys, which work so hard, give them love pats, love pats, love pats, love pats. All right, so we're gonna I'm gonna take a little break to get back to my studio. I give thanks for Wi-Fi internet. I am on my phone's hotspot because my son put up in new Wi-Fi that wasn't even working well. So I said, I'm gonna put hotspot on. Thank you for hotspot. And thank you for joining me. We'll be right back after I get to my studio.
On the back, book back, the cool type of gal. The cook sahapa, I can't papa R. Penenza put the cook on the R. But who's to get a limit to order a zempa? I could keep a cataract, a dirty hand. Tashi, I wish you want the sound come on. The fear of the comedy, I can't let none. I kick the geek up to a part to sad. I knew get a horse, we can pop my garage. I knew I went for the pop a leg. I knew I got but you, I could get that. I knew I could do all the contribution yet. I knew I could do all the mother was part of that. I do for me, pop that, the guy was, I knew for nas, the super do, I got no horse.
All right, all right. Let's get busy. Let's get busy today, because the reason this topic came up, I got an email from this guy. I don't even know how he got my email. I get information from people. Sometimes I don't know where it came from, other than shows up at the right time. Because the email was all about this guy. I want to show you, Scott Adams. He just recently passed, I think in January, and he had pancreatic cancer. And this email that I received was all about the journey he went on to try and heal that disease. So let me show you an interview. I actually found, I don't know if, yeah, now it wasn't, it was one of the videos he made. He was a cartoonist. You might know him either by his name or his face, but he was a cartoonist, popular guy. I would see him every now and then talking and sharing. And he's gone, he's transitioned now. He's with the ancestors, but he left some messages, some very powerful messages. So the email I received was all about the controversy on his treatments, number one, and how the email the person was using CBD cannabis products, and he was attacked by this guy who now transitioned. So I'm reading this email like, wow, all this is going on, still going on. Yeah, it's still going on. A lot of conflict. So what do we see over in the Middle East? Conflict. We're going to break all that down for you in terms of what's going on in this temple here when it comes to cancer. Because the patriarchal system doesn't know how to handle conflict unless they drop bombs on it. And that's where Big Pharma comes in, because Big Pharma is nothing but a monster of patriarchal testosterone energy, in my opinion, trying to bring solutions to a very easy challenge, which we're going to break down for you today. But I want to just show you this guy, Scott Adams, and something he says that triggered why he may have gotten the cancer in the first place.
Having watched how people treated Joe Biden when the diagnosis came, people are really cruel. They're really bad. And I was expecting, and of course it's going to happen, people are going to say it's because I got the COVID shot. There's no indication that makes a difference. People are going to say it's something I brought on myself. They're going to say it's because I lived a bad life. I don't know. But people are going to be really, really terrible. So I wanted to reduce the number of months or weeks. I don't know what I have left, weeks or months. I wanted to reduce the time that people were being terrible to me online, because it's going to be kind of hard to spend any time online. All of my enemies, in other words, people who are Democrats mostly, are going to come after me pretty hard. So, I have to put up with that. But I'm ready for that. You should know, well, if you didn't already know, I am unusually mentally tough. So while this could be much worse, for some people, I suppose, I'm handling it quite well. The pain is tough. I mean, really tough. But the mental part, I got that under control.
So no, you didn't. You didn't really have that under control, because his words said it all. First of all, he took the jab, if you heard that. So people were blaming. I know lots of people who took the jab. And my good friend, Jonathan Blount, who I've had on the show, he's the co-founder of Essence. He lives in this area. I've had so many conversations with him about everything. He took the jab. And immediately, I would say after about 2 months, he had a heart attack. It was like, and he had a horrible lifestyle too, alcohol, everything. But he's overcome so much. I admire him so much. And then he got prostate cancer. And well, it's not anything secret. He shared that with so many people on my show and everything. So when this guy, Scott Adams, said, well, I took the COVID time, people were saying, well, it might have been fat, but I don't believe that. You can believe what you want, but the truth is out. So that's what piqued my interest to talk about Big Pharma's war on cancer patients. So where did this start? Oh my goodness. I used to do presentations about 1971, where it all started. So for those of you who are not aware of pretty much where this war on the disease in our body started, I want to show you this brief clip so we can all be on the same page of awareness, consciousness, and then we're going to come out of that deception and programming that has caused in 2026. Big Pharma wants to bring out vaccines now for preventing cancer. Years ago when this started, you'll see what I mean, but I'm going to show you what happened looking back 50 years. Then this was a while ago, but this is where it all started. The mentality of the war on this biological disease that shows up in our body.
That President Richard Nixon signed the National Cancer Act, launching the war on cancer. And since then, fatality rates for all cancers have dropped 27%. In our special series, CBS's Dr. John LaPook reports on the progress we've made and how far we have to go.
When President Richard Nixon signed the National Cancer Act just before Christmas in 1971, cancer was so mysterious and frightening, it was often called the Big C.
You will have, of course, the total commitment of government.
In the past 25 years, the cancer mortality rate has increased over 20%.
It was an all-out effort to bring cancer out of the shadows. The law established a national program to study the inner workings of cancer cells and find their weak spots.
That was really a momentous act.
Dr. Lisa DeAngelis is a neuro-oncologist and physician-in-chief at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
It established a pipeline of discovery that is continuing today.
That pipeline has led to success stories. New treatments harness the power of the immune system to seek out and destroy cancer cells. Knowing the genetics of tumor mutations allows doctors to personalize treatments.
Diagnosis, question of melanoma.
Back then, we probably would have said it was perhaps 40 diseases. Now we think of it as more like 400 diseases. And that actually means that we've had to develop treatments that are unique and specific to each subtype of cancer.
How were we able to know that there were these different types of cancers? Was it genomic research?
The genomics have really given us insight into the many different ways that a cancer can form, even when two different cancers look exactly the same under the microscope.
I just got to stop that. It is so obvious, the method of operation of corporations like Pfizer, Moderna, all of them, Big Pharma. Okay, 400 diseases, okay? You know what that equals? That's 400 drugs that we can develop and make lots of money, We can make lots of money. Is that not obvious to everybody yet at this point? I hope so. That's comical to me to watch that deception, those lies. So Nixon comes out because of the companies that make these drugs were losing money basically in the 70s. So Nixon comes out, oh, it's a war. We have to fight it. We need weapons and we're going to destroy it because Big Pharma to the rescue, our savior. Hey, Big Pharma to the rescue, Big Pharma to the rescue, Big Pharma to the rescue. Crazy, crazy, crazy when we look back at that. So the history is important to reconsider. Where did this programming come that we have a war when the so-called dis-ease, lack of ease of cancer, the label cancer in 1970, we're at war now, war on cancer, and everybody, yay, the savior's coming to war, and Big Pharma is going to save us. 400 now they have 400 probably more diseases. So that means we got to make 400 diseases, which is like money. So that's kind of the history of it all. So that is why people are in fear, anxiety, worry, dread when that diagnosis comes. Oh my God, I have cancer. I'm going to die. Or I'm in a battle. I'm going to be in a battle now. Okay. So clear that. Let's clear the mind that when cancer shows up, it's not really a battle. It's an awakening. It's awakening because it all depends on how you respond. You know, I've said in previous shows lately, the perceived problem is really an opportunity to grow, learn lessons, and reverse whatever the situation is. So, in the meantime, all the way over in Germany in the 70s, actually, there was a doctor by the name of Dr. Hammer, Reiki Hammer, who was discovering, and he was actually in, I think he was a minister, but he was a gynecologist. And he was discovering something different about this dis-ease that really has not reached a lot of people, but that's what I study here. I'm a practitioner of German New Medicine, and I learned it. I started really studying it after my sister suffered and transitioned with breast cancer. So here's a little introduction to what I found was the truth versus what Nixon and the government presented to us as the savior and a war that's going on. There's another perspective on this, and that's the German New Medicine truth that we want to think about and listen to in this an intro to German New Medicine, the discovery that this man made in the kind of in the same period that the war on cancer was being developed by Nixon and the government. This man was over, and that's why it pays to travel and learn about people in other areas, because this man was bringing forth the truth that we need to respond to and embrace today.
Here's what I want to introduce you to. In the 1970s, there was a German medical practitioner. He was a trained internist, a medical doctor. His name was Dr. Hammer. I never met the man. I know that some people would describe him as brilliant and having a big heart. His patients loved him. He was very intelligent. He developed a number of patents on surgical equipment that are still used today. He and his wife would care for patients pro bono in the slums of Rome. So this was a man that wanted to serve. At the same time, if you Google his name on the internet, a lot of not so great stuff will come up, and often this happens in the medical world, especially mainstream conventional medicine. If you dare to go against the current, if you bring controversial new discoveries that challenge everything we believed, others will want to dig deep, disparage your character, question your motives, and make accusations. So you'll find both about him on the internet. Like I said, I don't know him personally, so I can't attest to who he was as a man. I can only encourage you to do your own research and decide what feels true to you or what you accept as fact. As always, my emphasis in these presentations is going to be on the scientific truths that were presented rather than the personality of the man who discovered them. So what did he discover? Well, during his career, Dr. Hammer suffered a devastating tragedy. He had a teenage son named Dirk who was accidentally shot and was clinging to life, but eventually died in his father's arms. Now, not long after his son died, Dr. Hammer was diagnosed with testicular cancer, even though previously he had been otherwise healthy. And that set off something in his mind. The timing seemed too coincidental, and he wanted to study the relationship between traumatic shocks that happen in a person's life and the timing and onset of disease symptoms. So he was working at the University of Munich on a cancer ward with patients, and you know what he recognized? He saw that other men who were diagnosed with testicular cancer like he was had also at some point previously suffered a significant and devastating loss. Not only that, but when he reviewed their CT scans, he found this targeted ring formation on the image in a specific part of the brain, which you can see in the pictures I have here. So every patient who suffered the same type of shock, for example, a devastating loss, a traumatic loss, had a lesion, this ring-formed shape on the CT scan, in the exact same part of the brain. So everybody that suffered a traumatic loss had the same lesion in the same part of the brain. And every patient who had that lesion on that part of the brain had the same cancer diagnosis. Pretty interesting, huh? So he began to wonder, well, if That type of shock produced this type of lesion in this part of the brain and resulted in a similar medical history with testicular cancer. Could other people with other type of traumatic shocks have the same lesion in other parts of the brain, which affected a different organ, and therefore they had a different diagnosis? So he spent the rest of his life reviewing case studies, building a body of research, which became the foundation for what we today call German New Medicine or German healing knowledge. This has application. This information can be applied not only with autoimmune disease, even with cancer, with heart attacks, mental illness, and more. So over the next few days, I'm going to be showing you how to apply this biological science.
So there are lots of people now, well, I won't say lots. There are more people on YouTube and the internet who are teaching this truth. And in fact, I want to show you this website, patsyholden.wordpress, has a testimony of a woman I met here in Orlando. She's since moved to Oklahoma and developed this amazing farm ecosystem on her native land. She gives her full testimony of how German New Medicine helped her overcome her breast disease. So there aren't many of those out there, but there are also a lot of YouTube videos. Chris Cures Cancer, he's a popular one on YouTube, where he interviews people who go through a natural healing process of this disease. Now, why would you want to ignore the traditional system for this truthful challenging it? It's challenging if you don't wake up before the cancer spreads and realize your body is creating this from your trauma. As she said, your son dies, your daughter dies, you lose a job. Then if you don't wake up, then it's going to be an interesting challenge. And you're going to be swimming and caught up in the big pharma cancer drug whirlpool. So here's a very interesting perspective on what some people are feeling needs to change and how we can look at this information as a serious warning.
So the American people are getting fed up with the high price of drugs, and nowhere is this more so than with the price of cancer drugs. In the last few years, things have just gone crazy. I mean, it used to be that if you had to have chemotherapy, you'd have one of these common patented drugs, but it wouldn't cost that much. You know, it was a few $100 or a few $1,000s. But in the last couple of years, there have been no drugs approved that have been under $100,000 per patient. There's a drug called Keytruda that you've probably heard of. It's manufactured by Merck. And this drug, they charge $150,000 a year for the patients. And so even if you have fairly decent insurance, you're probably going to still wind up paying about $30,000 out of pocket for that. Last year, the FDA approved a drug called Kymriah, and it's a kind of immune therapy. And the price on that is $475,000 per infusion. I mean, it's crazy. The 20% copay on that is almost $100,000. So these are drugs that are used to treat childhood leukemia or adults with lymphoma. And I won't even get into the question of how effective or whether they're effective or not. The point is people want them, they need them, they're approved drugs, and you're supposed to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get it. Now, what's the actual situation for American workers? The average American worker who's working a 40-hour week is making somewhere around $45,000 to $50,000 a year. So you're supposed to somehow come up with $100,000 or $150,000 or $450,000 to pay for these life-saving drugs. And you can't do that. 4 out of 10 people in America could not meet a $400 financial emergency. So like if the transmission goes out on your car or you need a new furnace or something, you're either going to have to put that off, or you're going to have to borrow from relatives or put it on a credit card and try to pay that off, and that's 40% of the public. And these are the good times. So in bad times, it goes over 50%. You can't meet a $400 emergency. So how are you going to meet a $150,000 emergency? We know a lot of people are just having to do without these drugs, and this is generating enormous bitterness in the population. Meanwhile, the drug companies are getting richer and richer. I think the compensation for the president or CEO of Merck last year was something like $27 million for one person, for one person's job, 27 million. And that money is coming out of the money that these super profits that are being earned through the sale of these cancer drugs, these outrageously priced cancer drugs. So what's the solution? One obvious thing that would make things better would be if Medicare would be able to negotiate the price of the drugs that FDA approves.
Okay, we want to end on that conversation. Medicare negotiating for us. That's going back to Nixon's, the government will take care of it for you. So I am here as a holistic life coach. I've been doing this holistic life journey for over 35 years. I keep saying that, but it's probably closer to 40. So I'm ready to partner with you if you are challenged with this disease, worried about this disease. You can contact me on my website, yourholisticlifecoach.com. Go there. I have a program, 7 weeks, 700, I think I've got it priced at, that will pretty much clear out any worry, fear. And then my book, From Fear to Faith in the Master Design, is a manual for getting rid of the fear. I wanted to show you 3 books that have changed my life and helped me jump into German New Medicine. This book right here, I don't even think it's still available because it's pretty old. When I was diagnosed with a disease that they were trying to say was cancer way back. It wasn't stage 4 or anything. It was more like a stage 1. And I went and sat in the library looking for books on this disease. This book just jumped out at me. And I read through it and I was working at a health food store at the time. So it was really easy for me to try whatever, the B12, the apricot seeds, all the things he mentions here. Thank God I have cancer. Why? This is a minister who teaches in this book all the things he learned when he was diagnosed with that disease. This other book by Andreas Moritz, Cancer is Not a Disease. Amazing information, lots of beautiful research. I think he has transitioned since then because, man, at this point in the game, emotional intelligence is where I go for the first awareness we need. And then this book was written, this is a huge book that is available that is called The Cancer Report. And in this, there are several stories of people who overcame the disease. And one of them, I'll never forget, was about a man who was diagnosed stage 4 cancer, and he decided to go through his telephone book and just forgive and ask for forgiveness of all the people he had offended, all the people he had hurt. He said, I'm going to forgive, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? The cancer went into remission. And from this book, he was still alive, doing well, because he made a decision to let go of unforgiveness. So that's just 3 books that have helped me seal the understanding, maturity, the truth about this disease, that is not about a war going on, but our government and the medical sick care system is going to promote that. Why? Because these CEOs need money. Did you just hear that guy? These CEOs of these big pharma companies are being paid millions of dollars just to hold the CEO position. Love this capitalistic system we live in, right? It has its benefits for some, and for us, the benefit is we can learn anything new. And as this comment here, this is from, Naima Latif says, cancer is such big business. The public is not allowed to know that it has been cured a long time ago through many methods, whether using herbal treatment recommended by Dr. Sebi or using hypnotherapy created by past life regression Dolores Cannon. Absolutely. The alternative, or I'm going to say the natural methods for balancing this dis-ease, temporary lack of ease, are numerous now. There's acupuncture, there's breath work. My favorite now is rhythmic breath work. I want to encourage you to, if you didn't see my Wednesday show, the whole show was about deep rhythmic breath work, because for the last weekend, I was in this intensive body mind with Michael Beckwith and so many other people. I was in this intensive work, a summit, they called it, mind, body, spirit, money healing. The first day was all about money. I actually signed up for a stock trading class because they reduced it like almost 100, almost free. They're giving this away. So in May, my son and I and my grandchildren are going to learn how to trade stocks, because that's the way you make money in America, or in the world, period. This guy who's teaching it is from the UK. Anyway, I digress. That teaching went into a cosmic, it was a cosmic breath work on Monday. They extended it into Monday and Tuesday for a free breath work, deep breath work. So I participated in the breath work. That was just amazing. And for me, it balanced all the areas in my body that were kind of inflamed or out of balance. So my basic teaching, when I take on any clients, or if you want to partner with me, is going to be helping you develop rhythmic breath work. It's important to get music that you can use to keep the rhythm going, not this the human vessel, this amazing biological computer, can heal anything. And as Naima pointed out, there are so many alternative, I don't want to even say alternative, natural. There are so many natural therapies out there, and on YouTube especially, they'll guide you through anything. But if you want to partner with me, I'll take you on a weekly journey to strengthen your mind, your body, and your soul energy, because the soul energy is where you're going to come out of fear. When you develop your soul energy, there's no more fear about death or transition. Because that breath work that I did this week with this guy was like, I felt so in touch with my soul energy, and my body was second nature. I was like, this body's here, still here. I'm back. When I opened my eyes, it's like, I'm back. But that was an amazing journey. And then we go in our dreams, we go on that soul journey temporarily. But then we come back in this body, like, my foot hurts, my stomach hurts. So the immediate response, as the monks have been reminding us, today is going to be my peaceful day. I do not react anymore to challenges in life. That's the key to peace and disease-free body. Stop reacting. So when immediate response, whether we have pain, and I know my grandchildren are really resistant to this. That's why I know it's the best therapy, because they're immature. 9-year-old 11-year-olds, soon to be 10, 12 in a couple months, they resist spending time in silence, just breathing. It's the hardest thing in the world for them to do because social media is taking over our lives. We got to be busy. We got to be scrolling. I don't have time to stop and just breathe for 30 minutes. But that's what's going to heal, in my opinion, in my experience. And as you learn and grow, and I think the people here listening to this will probably affirm and agree that as you learn and grow, the silence is what brings balance to the body temple. And the scripture says to be still and know that I am Yah, I am source, I am spirit. Take that in for a minute. Take that in. Be still. That means sometimes closing your eyes, turn the music off, or if you do have music, it's rhythmic, turn the music, be still and know. Do you know? Not believe. Belief is something different. Belief has wide tentacles, wide stretches of his past, present, future. But do you know that I am the creator? I'm the universe. Inside of me is the universe. I get so excited studying this temple, how it works, how each system, the endocrine system works, how the brain works. And then as I'm on TikTok, someone is sharing these amazing animated videos, AI videos, really, it's not animated, of what's going on in each system, the heart system, and then it shows the veins and everything stretching. It's like, wow, what a movie. Oh, it's amazing. So once you are still and you know that I am the universe, the inside of me is the universe. I'm unstoppable now. I can heal anything. I can overcome anything. I'm unstoppable. But you have to be still and know. You have to take in that breath. That's diplomacy. When the government and big pharma and your MD is saying you got to go to chemo, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to take this drug, you got to take these vitamins, you got to do an enema, you got to do all the things we did in the wheatgrass, vitamin C, IV. I learned for the past 35 years of the many natural therapies that can bring balance to the body, but nothing, in my opinion, today at 71 years around the planet, nothing works better than rhythmic breath work. The longer you can do it, the better your body will feel, the more aligned it will become. Alignment will come with the cosmos, breathing, fire breath, and then coming out of that, you practice emotional intelligence. The war is over. The war is over. The doctor has told you you got 20 days to live. You got 3 weeks to live. Thank you. Goodbye. It's gone. You're gone. If you have a doctor who's continually telling you how many days you have left, you need to fire him because he's not sharing the truth of the spirit of who you are in the universe. The universe is working inside of me. The universe is working. And my emotions, the energy in motion is running the show. My sister and I did everything natural, distilled water fast, raw food fast, juicing, all of prayer, fasting. We did everything. And her cancer just kept growing in her breast. It ate right through the skin of her breast. It was amazing because she held on to the grief, the unforgiveness, and the guilt from watching her only child transition out of here. Her 14-year-old child gone. That's the German New Medicine truth that I learned from my sister that I now teach, and share with everyone. That if you hold on to the transition of a loved one, the grief goes deep. If you don't process and get it out, do your breath work, and then have a whole new attitude of where that person's soul is. So we go back to the soul in our journey out of the war, we go back to the soul. Big Pharma is soulless. Did I say that? Did I just say that? Big Pharma is soulless. There's no soul in anything they do. I don't care what it is, but blood pressure medication, all of those medications will create the exact problem you're trying to overcome. That's my experience now with people in my life. Studying creates the same problem you're trying to overcome. That's my opinion, my story. That's my experience I'm sharing with you. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research. But it's soulless. When you are still and knowing, feeling, hearing from the Most High, intuitively vibrating with a thought, your pineal gland is active. You're bringing oxygen to the pineal gland. The crystals, these are crystals up here inside this skin and under this hair, crystal pineal gland and the pituitary crystals. These are crystals in here, woo, vibrating, vibrating, vibrating out to help you know who you really are. But if you can't get still and you're running around doing everything and trying to make more money, that's what people do these days. Let's make and monetize everything we do. Everybody's trying to monetize. So if you're doing that action more than you are, be still and know that I am the universe, that I am the creator, that I am the microcosm of this great cosmic universe. When you really, really, really know that, cancer can't settle in here. That's ridiculous. It's the vibration, the frequency is too high for your tumors to grow. If you don't grow here mentally, know in your knowing, then the tumors show up, because the tumors are here, if they're there, to wake you the F up. That's what they're there for. But it's not for you to go into war mode and attack them, because they're going to keep growing as long as you're not still and knowing who you really are. So I encourage you to know who you really are these days. Whatever that takes, study, partnering with me if you need to go through the 7-week program where we do meditation, where we do tapping together on your personal challenges, problems. And in the meantime, like and subscribe. I'll continue to be here at least an hour every Friday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday. I have invited so many people to join me on this platform, and usually they either don't show up or they're on the other coast. And then when they do show up, they are phenomenal. So just tune in, and I'm going to be partnering with some of my YouTubers so that we can support each other on our shows. I can support them on their show. I'll go on their show. They come on here, and we talk about what really matters, which is this temple and knowing. And just as a emotional intelligence tidbit seed here today, this war on Iran has brought division, of course. That's what the military industrial complex action does. It brings division, because so many people, even the Popey in Catholic, he's useless to me. I'm totally agreeing with Trump on the issue of the Pope. That's my opinion, because I don't mean to offend any Catholics, but what is he doing? Iran empire has been murdering and slaughtering its citizens horribly for 47 years, at least 47 years. I get personal reports from my Iranian American friends who have relatives there and who were there and experienced that. I get them almost every day now, because they're so concerned about the friends and family in Iran. I want to encourage you, for emotional intelligence sake, stay neutral. Stay neutral. When a bomb needs to be dropped is when a regime is murdering and killing and raping children, raping their citizens, murdering their citizens. And this has historically been going on for years, as I think I mentioned on Wednesday. The Baha'i faith has been murdered. They have been tortured and oppressed for years in Persia. We'll call it Persia. That's the original name. Stay neutral on the war. Let the bombs drop. Whatever it takes. Let divine energy intervene in that evil antichrist regime in Iran to stop the torture, murder, and rape of children and women that's been going on too long. Just stay neutral and just pray for the people of Iran. Let the government of Israel and the United States do their bomb thing, because that's what it's going to take. They're not listening to the divine feminine in Iran. They're not listening to the divine feminine. You know what they're doing over there? They're raping them and murdering them and killing them. What do we call that energy? I call it antichrist energy. I call it hate. I call it demonic. You can call it all the negatives in the world. The only thing that's going to change it is our peace. Today is going to be my peaceful day. I'm not going to have a war in here to mirror the war over there. The only solution is that we stay in peace, stop reacting, and develop emotional intelligence so that our collective energy from the universe, remember, we're little universes here. When all of us come together in unity and realize we need a bomb over there in Iran, let it happen, do whatever you need to do. Let the creator said, vengeance is mine. I will repay. It's time for repaying the evil in that Middle East. And it's a Stargate. That's a whole nother, we're going to do a story, maybe a show on that Sunday, the Stargate issue in that Middle East that's running everything. So I've got a caller here. I think it's Mama AZ. Your mic is open if you'd like to share something with us.
Grand Risings family. Dr. V, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can also hear your TV in the background, but I know.
Yeah, okay. We leave it at that. Okay. Greetings, family. What I want to say, it is a Stargate in there. In Haifa, Israel, the Baha'i Center there is a part of a major Stargate. And how I know this is because Shogi and A.A. Allen came to me last night, and Louis G. Gregory in a dream. This is monumental, Dr. V. I love you and how hooked up to the bumper that you are. And I won't tell you what I need to tell you on your show. You and I, we need to have a conference. And I want to give a shout out to my dear brother Bernie, who's there in Florida. I'd like for you to see if you can reach out to him, because he too was also in my dream, and something major is getting ready to happen there in your area. You see what Brother Bernie did? He opened up a portal traveling from Miracle Valley, Arizona, to where he is now in Florida. And whatever he's doing, he has he's getting instructions, whether he knows it or not, from Reverend Allen, meaning A.A. Allen of Miracle Valley, and the tall ones. And I'm just so grateful that you are allowing me to voice this, because of what came to me last night after listening to Barbara Marciniak, and Brother Kwame was downloaded by Reverend Allen to send that to me. And oh my God, Barbara Marciniak, I'll send it back to you. You must share these things on your show. And one other thing I need to ask you, can you get the honeybee man at the Red Door Farm there in Florida to be on your show. He was on Dr. D's show yesterday. I think I looked about 5 of them. And I love you. I love you, Indy B. Don't cuss me out for sending you stuff because Alan is working with me. And that's how I met you, through AA Allen, when I was out there at his wrestling site.
So I
get
think,
the man.
Yeah.
Get the man on your show about the honey. He's there in your campground somewhere in Florida, and you need to interview Brother Bernie, because Brother Bernie has information that will be extremely helpful to people in Florida and the whole planet. I know it because A.A. Allen told me.
Thank you.
Thank
you for sharing that. And Marva Gillett, who is I think she's in the U.S. now, but Marva was my host when I went to the island to visit. And she says, I had a dream that soursop was good for cancer. You can make poultice. I know you meant poultice wounds or sores. Absolutely. Soursop is very, very popular. And I agree totally with you. The challenge is, like my sister and we did all that. We did I think we even had soursop because I was working at a health food store at the time. We had alkaline water at the time. She drank gallons of alkaline water. Her emotions overrode all of that. So you can use soursop for sure. But you got to work on the grief, unforgiveness, and guilt. You got to find a way to blow that out. And I say rhythmic deep breathing can help a lot when you concentrate on overcoming those emotions that are causing acid. So soursop will bring an alkaline condition to the body. It's such a beautiful plant. It will alkalize the body. But if you are holding on to grief, the acid of the grief, unforgiveness, and guilt will totally wipe out the soursop. That's what I'm witnessed for 9 months. 9 months in my house. Everything we did to alkalize her body was just overrode by the guilt, unforgiveness, and guilt. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm singing the song, I surrender all, trying to get my sister to surrender her grief, unforgiveness. The whole time I'm bringing out the song, but I surrender all to Jesus. And I realized after she transitioned that I'm the one who was supposed to surrender to her soul's will, leaving on that day to teach me these powerful lessons. Did you get that? It was a lesson for me to surrender, not her, but I'm singing it to her. You got to surrender all that guilt. No, the Heavenly Father said, you surrender.
Dr. V, today is what energy day?
Hey, the 4. It's a 4.
Thinking out of the box, including foundation, but you gotta think differently. You gotta look at other things that maybe other people are not seeing.
Yes.
And if they get frustrated or cuss you out or get mad, just say, I love you too, baby.
Yeah,
I love you. Thank you, Dr. V. I hope.
Absolutely. So the lesson again is do all you can naturally. My sister fasted for 3 days. 3 days on nothing but distilled water. But she didn't fast from her guilt and unforgiveness and guilt. The most challenging experience for a mother is when her child leaves this planet before her. Now, my dad took it like a champ. He was like, oh, you never expect to lose your firstborn. That was his firstborn, my sister. He said, oh, you never expect. And he meditated on that, I'm sure, for many, many days and weeks. And then he lived on further till 95, way past her, because he had emotional intelligence. That man, my dad had emotional intelligence. And I didn't even realize how powerful he had it, because he overcame the grief, the unforgiveness, the guilt, and all that, except he did have a heart attack because he was in a very conflicting marriage after a while. That marriage was like, man, and he stayed in it. Anyway, Marva says, yes, my friend just died, holding on to bitterness. It's not worth it. Let it go. Let it go. This time is just so short. The longer we live, I'm like, my oldest son is 45, youngest 40. I'm like, where did those years go? I'm still holding them as a baby. I'm still breastfeeding, and then all of a sudden they're rejecting my advice. I don't want to listen to you anymore. You're not my mommy. And that's another reality for my sister. Her daughter was only 14. But if you have adult children who are resisting your wisdom, who are not listening to you, guess what? You become a spiritual partner, and that's not easy to do. I after my two sons rejected my advice about the COVID jab, they did it anyway. The shock of it all, the trauma I was in for a few days. It's like, how could they do that? And Spirit spoke to me and said, you are now in a spiritual partnership. So get rid of that mommy influence idea. That's not happening anymore. Bye. And it's the hardest thing to do because you birthed them, you carried them 9 months, they came through your vagina hole, and you loved them for all those years, and then they just said, I don't want to listen to you anymore. It's like, mothers, wake up, gotta slap your face. The minute your adult children are saying, I'm gonna do my own thing, you gotta let go, they say cut the apron strings, or they can kill you emotionally, because you go into this grief and sadness. Oh, they're not listening to me. Why aren't my adult children? Because they have their own journey. They have their own challenge. They have the lesson to learn that you learn, and you have to cut the string. So it's challenging to be so close to my oldest son. Every day I see him and his children, but that's my lesson, is to let go and share with you how it happens and how it frees you. Spiritual partnership now. Whatever you do, whether you end up in the hospital, dead, whatever, it's your journey with the Most High, not mine. I have my own personal journey. You have your own personal journey. So let us breathe together. Whenever we have the chance, we breathe together the truth of this temple, loving temple, and let go of any past programming that says we're at war. No, the patriarchal military industrial complex, testosterone strong, psychotic male energy is at war with everybody and everything. We, the divine feminine, and I mean you men too, if you have divine feminine energy, come on along, because it's time for us to balance all this energy in us, male, female. So bring it all together like my puzzles. Oh, I always have to mention my puzzles. I'm having so much fun and obsessed with puzzles. The male female energy comes together in puzzles, because those puzzles have little vaginas and they have little penises on them. And I'm putting them together. I'm like, where's the vagina? So I'm looking at this now as a gender thing when I do puzzles. But the reality is, in this temple, we need to balance our male female energy. And that's what the puzzle, the fractured pieces of our history, of our past, when you bring them together and fit them in male female in balance, it's a beautiful picture of the Creator. We are made in the Creator's image when we come together, male female energy in balance, and we make what hearts. I make a heart. We make a heart of love. That's the love. Male female energy coming together, fractured out, makes this the heart, the love. It brings the love, and then our image of the Creator comes forth as this beautiful picture. It's exciting times we're in. Let's see, we got someone else here. Affordable housing. Oh, affordable housing TV just showed up. Welcome. Nice to see your sign. Marvin Gillett said, yes, I just came from 3 months with my youngest daughter and 3 children, and I felt like I barely survived. Blood pressure spiking every day, which is not good after a stroke. Oh, my heart goes out to you, Marva. Marva is my friend from past days, and it goes out to me that Affordable. Okay, affordable housing is showing up again. He has a question. Do you have a question? Is that a question? But in terms of Marva on this journey to balance her temple, and as she's expressing, I believe she's expressing the connection we have with our adult children, and especially their family, can really harm us mentally, physically, because we put too much emotions into their lives, hoping it'll be balanced, happy, joyful, like we want it to be, I guess. But our expectations, my dad, one of his favorite sayings was, expect the unexpected. If we live our life expecting the unexpected, if our child dies or transitions, oh, well, that was unexpected. Okay, I need to breathe on that one. Oh, why did that happen? Oh, it happened because you needed to, whatever. Now is the time when a child leaves us that we birthed and nurtured. It's time to go into stillness and know that we are the universe, and that person is in peace and joy. Peace and joy, peace and joy, peace and joy. And we're here, oh, I lost my child. My daughter was like, you've never lost a child. And the grief just ate right through her. So I feel for you empathically, Marva, that when we feel so strongly about our adult children and their families, and we give our all to them, it can harm us. So I pray that you will, if you're back in the island, that you will get back to breathing on the beach. Go to the beach, go to your roof, Marva, since spend time in the sun, and go to my Wednesday show, in fact, and do that breath practice for 30 minutes instead of, we did it for maybe 15 minutes. But on Wednesday, I would highly recommend, to get yourself back in balance if you barely survive, and to get your blood pressure back in balance, go to the Wednesday show and do that. Oh, you're in Barbados now. Lucky you. So Barbados means, I hope, beach time, beach time. My desire one day is to go to Tahiti. I hear they have the best beaches. So one day I'm gonna be on a plane to Tahiti, and I'm planning, once I do some trading, learn how to trade stocks, and my million shows up, I'm in Tahiti for a month. That's what my plan is, a whole month to just enjoy. So I hope you are taking in the water, the beautiful atmosphere, the water, all of that, to calm the body down, get the blood pressure down. Go to the beach, barefoot on the beach, play Paul Hardcastle's Barefoot on the Beach all day, and just take in the sun and breath work. The worship in your body will bring your blood pressure to normal. If your blood pressure is up and down, then that means you need to do more breath work. And that mean 30 minutes, if you can, even an hour, your blood pressure will normalize because you're in worship mode. And the blood will even out and be perfect when you get into worship mode. And let's see, we got another comment. Do you know of any doctors who prescribe food instead of pills or surgery? Yeah, there's plenty of them. There's a heart cardiologist in Orlando, and he has a YouTube channel. He loves to lecture, and that's exactly what he does. He prescribes food, like Dr. Sebi, and he recommends a lot of intermittent fasting. He doesn't even prescribe food. He's like, stop eating, because you know what? We are overeating and undernourishing our bodies. Let me say that again, in case you missed it in the back there. Did you hear it? We're overeating and undernourishing our bodies. That means having eggs and ham and toast in the morning, and then lunch, a turkey sandwich on white bread, wheat bread, whatever kind of bread, mayonnaise, with a Coke, and then having a snack in between, a Hershey's bar, and then dinner, big steak and potatoes, steak and potatoes. That's the comment. It's overeating. You're not nourishing your body, because this temple can operate on nothing. My friend Eli Tom Elamim, if you haven't seen him, go to Ellie Tom L. Amin, I think it is, on YouTube or Facebook, and he's journeying all over. I think he's in Africa now, and he's not eating or drinking anything. So we don't need to even be prescribed food. We just need to stop eating, period, and then learn how to breathe and walk more and do some Tai Chi to harmonize with the orchestra inside of you, the universe inside of you. Do your movements in the sun, get that sun that on your body, you'll be fine. And then have a smoothie, a smoothie that nourishes your body. Stop overeating, nourish with superfoods, and then move your body. That's the key to coming out of the war that the patriarchal, psychotic, psychopathic, evil Antichrist system operates on, especially in Iran. It's a great example in Iran of what the Antichrist looks like. And that's why the war is a neutral for us. Don't talk about it. Just be quiet and watch the Most High deal with the Antichrist and the Stargate. I think on Sunday, Mama Az is still here, I might talk about Stargates, because the hidden energy behind the war, that might be the hidden energy behind the Middle East conflict, because that's what happens with this body. We get into emotional conflicts with people, situations, and then the war starts. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to be on this 4-day with you. Let me tell you, this is very important, because you remember Miss Sue when I was hanging out with Miss Sue?
Yes.
Miss Sue is a Baha'i,
uh-huh.
and she's on the other side. And she used to get so angry at me sometimes when I would be in meditation and doing my thing. And she believes, when she was on this side, that the Baha'i faith is the only way, only highway. No. And in her picture, I mean, in her condo, was a picture of Baha'u'llah. I like to say it like that, because it resonates with my spirit.
Yeah, he's one of the founders. He's one of the founders.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. But he would tell me that he wasn't from this planet. You see, Miss Sue and her son Lloyd were Trekkies, Star Trek, and he would tell me that the journey that he went through, being in prison and the whole, everybody in the whole 9 yards, they all ask for this, to bring this awareness to the planet. If you look at the temples, especially in Haifa, Israel, and you take an above shot, it tells you right then, it is a stargate. And all of the temples that were created by the Baha'is, that was their mission, to come here to do this at this particular time. That is why A.A. Allen has that temple there in Miracle Valley, and that is why I was sent here, because they had to put mile markers down in order for me to understand and overstand why I came through the planet to assist Louis G. Gregory, who is the hand of the cause at the Baha'i Temple, where my firstborn's people come from, in Hemingway, South Carolina.
So
that temple. Yes, we got to talk about this.
So Mama Az is so conscious about her synchronicities in life that I love hearing her share these synchronicities that have happened in her life. And you made me remember, I was in Haifa, Israel, about 20 years ago. Just to show you synchronicities in my life. My husband worked for a major airline, and they sent him to Israel to work on airplanes to
Get outta
relieve
here.
vacation for 2 weeks. So guess what? I followed him free of charge. I didn't pay 1 penny to travel to Israel. So I was like, wow, this is really interesting. I loved it. When I got there, I spent 5 days. When I got there, I slept for 12 hours. I was so exhausted. I had to go to Paris first, then transferred. Didn't pay a penny, so I couldn't complain because I was on a pass. Let me finish.
I got it.
Wait, hold, let me finish. So when I got there, woke up on the Sabbath because everybody woke up and started celebrating. The next day, we walked to Haifa, Israel, because I only had 5 days, and we went on a tour of Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and all that. And I was in Tel Aviv at the time, but you can walk to Haifa, Israel from Tel Aviv. And I was in Haifa, Israel, and I'm like, this is interesting. And one of the most beautiful places on the Mediterranean in Tel Aviv, near Tel Aviv, is Haifa, Israel. So years later now, when I hear you talking about that, I'm thinking, isn't that interesting that I had to make that journey?
That's not all, Dr. V. And Wilmette. Shogi is telling me to share this with you. In Wilmette, see, Chicago is also a portal. In Wilmette, the Baha'i temple there, that Baha'i said, oh my God, that is why you were born. And Dr. Latif and every brother and his cousin, even my acupuncturist, Dr. Richie Rich, he comes from Chicago, from near that temple. And where you came to see me in Tucson, and by the way, family, Tucson is Aquarius, okay? Look it up. And that temple, where you came to see me, Dr. V, and gave me that pad, that organization that has that nursing home goes back to Wilmette, Chicago. Their headquarters for that nursing home is there. And one of the people that are within the Baha'i faith, William Sears, is right down the street, laid to rest, like A.A. Allen is here at Miracle Valley.
So we want to say that, just to sum it up, pay attention to the coincidences in your life, because what it does for us, I think Mommy and I can agree, it has helped us see our assignment clearly, our purpose. All these coincidences, synchronicities here, there. I'm here sharing about the war on cancer that is not in here, that we need to erase from, and we're sharing about the Baha'i faith, that all of those things have come to us to remind us of our assignment. So you who are here today, thank you so much for being with us, because together, when we're in unity about why we're here, what's our assignment, whether it's in Barbados or whether you're in Chicago, we have an assignment to breathe and be still and know that we are the universe, we are the cosmic order, we are sovereign beings, we are powerful, we are unstoppable, and come out of this patriarchal system that has created war after war after war. We can stop the war, men and women, if you have a balance of the puzzles coming together in love to create a new earth. So thank you, Mom AZ, for sharing that. That's so important for me to move on today, knowing my purpose, get back to my puzzle table. I have a 1,000-piece puzzle that's only about half full, and I'm getting in all these green pieces, the trees. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do it? So we like to share these things to remind you, stay focused. Remember, the coincidences were there to teach you. Going to Israel, when I look back, and being in Haifa, Israel, being in Tel Aviv, and realizing that I was in that location where there's so much conflict and war now, that it's my job to bring peace, because I am content now where I am, because I've traveled all over the world. I've had, oh my goodness, Hawaii 4 times. I don't have any, need to travel. I want to travel all of them. I've done that. I'm here to share the truth with you about how we bring peace. We bring the fractured pieces together and bring peace and love every day. And let me see what Naima has a comment here. Let me show that. She says, everybody is thinking Israel and Bethlehem looks exactly like it did 2,000 years ago. They're thinking they can go see the manger where Jesus was born. Please describe what you saw in Israel. I saw a lot of commercialism at the time. Going on a tour, the Via Dolorosa, this is where Jesus walked. And I was like, really? And then going to Bethlehem, this is where Jesus, I'm like, really? There's so much commercialism there. I didn't feel the spirit of the Bible there as much as the vision of the place was like historic and all that, but there's so much commercialism, selling things and trying to make money. The monetization of the whole area just ruined it for me. But being in Tel Aviv and walking to Haifa, that was a more spiritual experience to me because the beauty of that place was unique. And even in Jerusalem, Israel, and Bethlehem, the structures are still there, and the wall, the people praying on the wall, that was weird as heck to me. Why are they doing that? What is that all about? It's like so many things. I was like, that's weird. That's weird. And then walking through Tel Aviv at these very modern shops, and then a week later a bomb went off in the exact place that I was walking in Tel Aviv, and I said, whoa, bad I escaped that one. So my experience there was amazing. But today I think about the turmoil more than anything and how Palestinians are suffering. And that's my focus, is to just stay in peace, because I had that experience. This is my experience now. Stay in peace. Get the puzzles, the male and female energies to come together in unity and love. That's what we're here to do. So thank you all for being here. Israel is going through a transition. So we need to go through a transition as well, as a mirror of a place that is teaching us so much. That whole area is teaching us how to stay in peace and let the Creator deal with the evil in that area that is killing children and so many. Anyway, but we stay in peace and it will change. If we stay in peace, it'll change. So thank you all for joining me. I hope you all get out of this. It's a beautiful sunny day. I don't see any lines in the sky, so I got to go out and do my Tai Chi in the dirt. But come back Sunday night, Soul Purpose Healing. I'm really feeling like we need to go into the Haifa, Israel, soul, spiritual energy of the Middle East, was why there is turmoil still there today. But I also have invited a guest to come on, and waiting for that guest. It's all the wonderful, healthy work I'm doing to bring you truth and life. Namaste, everyone. Satnam. Aho. Ashe, ashe, and shalom. Everybody have a great day. Get out in the sun. Get some sun. Shalom.
Yeah, na Kabura enha, na kabuch enha. Anuki madress with mad pushalao. On the bed with mad to cool type of cow. The cooks a hopper, I got papa R. Penenza put the cook another order. The who's to get a limit to order. A zempa haka kept a cataract. Get a hen. Tashi, I wish you up a sound come on. The fear would have comedy and count that one. I kick the geek up on you with pop sad. And get horse, we can pop out that ass. I knew I would for the pop a lag. I knew I can't put you I could get that. I knew you could do it, the coach edition ain't yet. I knew you could do it, la mother was part of that. I do be pop of that, the guy was said, for nas, that super do, I got no horse. The cook put it in her, yeah. The cook and